Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host, Sean McGahee, and this is a show where we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. You can listen to Dayspring Discussions on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic, and Patreon, and contact Dayspring Discussions on the Facebook group, Twitter account, and dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Well, welcome everyone. It feels like it's been a long time. I think it's been about 2 weeks since I actually did a show. Busy. Went on vacation, of course. Busy this last week, kind of getting everything together, getting everything back together. Kind of started a new job, so I had to settle into that. It's been different, to say the least. But I'm back now, of course. A lot of stuff happened last week. A lot of stuff I want to talk about. So let's just dive right in, guys. And of course, what can I say except for 2 more days until Avengers Endgame. That's right. Last night was the world premiere. All the stars came out. The critics got to see it. Twitter's a-buzzing with some early reviews, and so far they've all been positive. The worst review I think I've read so far was a guy who said the first part of it was kind of, clunky or so, but finished really strong. All the other reviews say they're raving about it, that it's great. It's a great end to this, 10 or 11 year movie saga that Marvel Studios has put together. So I'm super excited to see it. I'm seeing it Thursday night, and then I'm also seeing it Friday night. And then, of course, this weekend, Lisa and I will sit down, record a review. I'll probably have the review up either Monday or maybe Tuesday. Not quite sure yet. Of course, I know you guys are seeing it. So once you see what we have to say, fire back, of course, on the social media groups and Gmail account. Let me know what you think, but I'm excited for it, guys. I'm super excited to see how it all ends. I've been reviewing a couple of films. I watched Avengers and Age of Ultron. I also watched the first Guardians of the Galaxy film. I'm in the middle of the second Guardians of the Galaxy film. Had a long day yesterday, so I went home, tried to watch it, and got almost through it, but didn't quite, so I got to finish that. And then, of course, Infinity War I'm going to review. Those are kind of the 6 films that I just want to review for it. Oh, and I watched Civil War as well. But those are kind of that I feel like, should be reviewed when going into an Endgame. So either way, I'm super excited for the film. I still haven't seen Hellboy yet either. It came out while I was in Chicago at Star Wars Celebration, so I didn't see it. Reviews for it haven't been great, so maybe I'll see it tonight or tomorrow. I want to see it, but with the reviews and the time frame that I'm dealing with here to get ready for Endgame, it's iffy. But I want to see it. I will see it, and of course, you can be sure I'll share my feelings on that when I do. So speaking of my time off, as I said, I was in Chicago, head deep in Star Wars fandom. I checked out Star Wars Celebration. This was the second celebration that myself and my wife Lisa have attended. We went to the one back in 2017 in Orlando. Had such a great time. We wanted to do another one, and this one was nice. It was Chicago, which is our old stomping grounds. Lisa's family still lives there. My buddy Bryce, who we stayed with, lives there as well, so we got to hang out with some friends and family over there, which was cool. But we were so busy, honestly. We didn't have much time actually to spend with them because there's so much to do. They expanded it to 5 days this year when it's normally 4 days, and there was still plenty to do. Plenty of panels, plenty of activities, plenty of stuff to do on the show floor. Of course, you're standing in line for a lot of stuff. I didn't check out the Vader Immortal VR experience. I didn't check out the Galaxy's Edge kind of display that they had going on there, mainly because the lines were so long. But I did check out a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool vendors. Lisa went, got a lot of books signed. She got Timothy Zahn to sign her copy of Thrawn. Claudia Gray was the big one she wanted, and then E.K. Johnston, and I think there was one more as well. The guy who wrote the A New Dawn. We had that book signed, so she's got a couple of book signings, so she was super excited about that. We got a couple of cool pieces of merchandise, of course. Pins. We got a couple of pins before we went there. We got some last year. Lisa really wanted the Ahsoka pin, of course. And finally, after the whole celebration, we finally found someone who was standing in the Funko Pop line that actually was able to, or willing to, get us the Ahsoka pin, and we paid the guy the money. So thank you for that, bud. That's the one my wife really wanted. So on the last day, I just found one guy online, and I'm like, look, dude, my wife really wants this pin. You don't have to pay for it. You get it for free. So I will pay you for it, though, if you get it for her. And he was nice enough to do that. So thank you very much for that, sir. But we've collected quite a bit of pins, you know. I wanted Rex. Of course, we had Kanan. What else? Obi-Wan. I wanted young Obi-Wan. I got old Obi-Wan, but not young Obi-Wan. And then you got R2 and a couple others. So it seems, we've become part of this whole pin trading community. We didn't get, all of them or anything like that, but we got the ones we wanted. I have Han Solo, which I thought someone would trade me for, but no one really came up wanting him. So I'm a little surprised by that. But anyway, so we did that, of course. And then the panels. You had the Episode 9 panel on Friday, which was the main one. Galaxy's Edge on Saturday, Mandalorian on Sunday, and then the 20th anniversary of Phantom Menace. Of course, they had a lottery this year. The ones we got into were the Galaxy's Edge and the Phantom Menace 20th anniversary. We didn't even go to that, and we left early for the Galaxy's Edge, because those are the two that we least wanted to see, of course. But there are pros and cons to the lottery. Basically, for Galaxy's Edge, I know we got assigned a section of seating in the Wintrust Arena, or the celebration stage, as they called it. And we showed up, maybe 10 minutes before it started, got right in, sat down, no problem. So that was awesome. That was great that we didn't have to stand in line. However, the Wintrust Arena is huge and could fit a lot of people. So the next day, I really wanted to check out the Mandalorian panel, mainly because Dave Filoni is such a big part of the show, and I love Dave Filoni. But I'm standing in line, and they're saying, no, there's no standby line. You either got in the lottery or you didn't. You're not going to get let in. So we're like, okay, a bunch of us standing out there in the snow, by the way. Of course, the one day it snowed was the one day I planned on standing in line. And they wouldn't let us in. The thing started, and they're like, nope, they don't like to let us in. I know from a fact, from being in that arena several times during celebration, there are plenty of seats to let standby people get in. On the top, second section there, people were sitting up there. There were plenty of seats to let, an extra 50 to 100 people in who really wanted to see the show. So the fact that, even when it was 10 minutes till, they wouldn't let anyone else in, even the lottery people, once it started. They wouldn't let standby people in. I found that a little ridiculous, okay? It's 10 minutes till. There are plenty of seats left. I know that for a fact. Just let us go. I mean, come on, man. It wouldn't have been so bad. It wouldn't have been so bad. But instead, we stood out there for 2 hours in the snow, freezing our asses off. Hi, Mike. And we just, suffered through it. The panel got out, and then we were let in to do the Alan Tudyk, and I got a good seat for Clone Wars, which was the main reason I was standing there, to get a good seat for the Clone Wars panel. But then I went back and watched the Mandalorian panel, and man, I wish I would have got in. I really wish I would have. I mean, I've seen, the panel. I've seen the footage from people's cameras of the stuff that they wouldn't live stream. But I would have liked to have been there. Mandalorian and Clone Wars were probably the two best panels. People may argue the Episode 9 panel, but when you really watch it, it wasn't that great of a panel. Yes, we got the trailer for Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker, but the panel itself wasn't that interesting. It was very cookie cutter, I guess. Not that I didn't enjoy it, but there wasn't anything special about it. I much rather enjoyed, the Clone Wars panel, probably my favorite one, just because that was the one I was most excited for anyway to get in. But anyway, Star Wars Celebration was awesome. They already announced that next year they're doing it in Anaheim. And of course, my wife and I are planning to, go to that one. Like the last year, we saw a lot of cool fans, met a lot of cool people, and it was just great. That's really what Celebration is about, the whole fan experience and enjoying it with everyone and getting to geek out with Star Wars as other people do. I know, my wife is really into the books. I read them too, but she's really into them. And she loved what she was standing in line for the signings. Obviously, the other people had read the books as well, so she was able to talk about the books with the people she was standing in line with, which, she never gets to do. No one else that we know in our everyday lives actually reads the Star Wars books. So that's what it's all about, guys. The Star Wars community coming together and talking Star Wars and loving Star Wars as a whole, and all this little backlash of Star Wars that has happened within the last year, starting with The Last Jedi and kind of dividing the fan base a little bit. You didn't see it. You didn't see it at all, of course. There was a great reception by Ahmed Best, who played Jar Jar Binks, who is, a horrible character that people, hate. And then you have Kelly Marie Tran, played Rose in The Last Jedi. She's back for Rise of Skywalker, and all the crap she had to put up with within the last couple of months. She got a great reception, which made me so proud that, as Star Wars fans, we each like different Star Wars things sometimes, but we are all Star Wars fans, and that was the great part about it, was all the negativity that we've seen within the last year or so. We put it all aside, and we realized that we all love Star Wars. No matter what piece of Star Wars, we all love Star Wars, and that's what we're there to celebrate. So, great time. Can't wait to go back next year. And of course, since it's in Anaheim, we just might have to check out Galaxy's Edge while we're there. Okay, well, I think I rambled on about that long enough. Last thing I just want to talk about, too, as far as Star Wars, is the book Master and Apprentice. I'm almost done with it. This was a hot commodity at Celebration. It came out last Tuesday, so it was released at Celebration. You could buy the book before it was actually out in stores or online or wherever you buy your books at. And they had a special Celebration cover along with a pin that you could get and a guaranteed signature by the author Claudia Gray. We didn't get it. 5 days, they were giving out 50 books a day. We didn't get it, of course. That's fine. But I've been listening to the book because we listened to them on audio. Lisa's nagging me to finish the book because she really wants to listen to it because she hears it's so good. And I gotta say, I'm almost done with it, and it is good. This is also something in the new canon. We haven't got anything earlier than episode 1. This is the first piece of story that we've gotten that predates episode 1, the earliest thing we've gotten in the new canon since Disney bought it. And for those who don't know, this book takes place several years before Phantom Menace, and it centers around Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. Really, Qui-Gon's the main centerpiece of it. Just to give you a little reference, in Phantom Menace, Obi-Wan is 25. In this book, he's 17. Him and Qui-Gon going through a little bit of rough patch in their relationship when Qui-Gon is asked to join the Jedi Council. Side note, Yoda did not want Qui-Gon in the council. There's that. But anyway, Obi-Wan finds out that he was asked to join the council, which means that Obi-Wan would be reassigned a new master and no longer be Qui-Gon's apprentice. They've been together for several years now, so he was a little hurt by that. But then they're sent on a mission requested by an old, I'd say, frenemy of Qui-Gon's. And they have to oversee this signing of a treaty, which, as the story goes on, you realize the treaty's not that great. So Qui-Gon's kind of at odds with his mission and what he feels is right. I'm interested to finish it, to see how it ends, of course, to see who the villain is, I guess you would say. And this really is a Qui-Gon book where it centers around him, and he's an interesting character that I've always wanted to learn more about. So that's great. And you have a lot of flashbacks of him when he was Dooku's apprentice, and they're talking a lot about the prophecies, like not just the prophecy of the Chosen One, but other prophecies in there as well. Going deep into the mythology. So I'm enjoying it. Like I said, hopefully it finishes great. I think it will. Claudia Gray is kind of the hot Star Wars writer right now. So if you guys haven't looked at it, if you are interested in Qui-Gon or young Obi-Wan or anything like that, I recommend picking it up, and like I said, I'll finish it, and then Lisa can read/listen to it, and then maybe we'll do a little review on it. I don't know, but check it out, Master and Apprentice. Okay, well, I feel like I've rambled on about Star Wars too long, which is something that usually happens, so I probably won't be able to get to some of the other things I want to talk about today. I just finished season 2 of Black Lightning on Netflix. I've come to the realization now that I'm going to stop watching the CW shows on the CW app. Even when I watched them on Hulu, they still had commercials, which added almost an extra 10 minutes to the show. And I watch so much TV and movies and other things that I can't waste that time. But luckily with Netflix, a week after the finale airs, they put it on Netflix. So I've been finishing Black Lightning season 2 on Netflix. I stopped watching Flash and Arrow and those shows, and when they get to Netflix, I'll go back and I'll finish the seasons. Then it's just a time restraint thing, you know. I mean, I can watch them on Hulu, but I paid for commercial free on Hulu. But those are the only shows that I get that aren't commercial free no matter what, which I think is kind of a jip. So because of that, I'm just going to wait for Netflix. But Black Lightning season 2, you know, it started off rough. I really liked season 1. I thought it had a lot to say politically and socially. It was a great venue for that. Season 2, you know, kind of took it a step further as far as the weird and metahumans. And for a while there, it was, you know, touch and go, but it finished good. I like where they finished it. I like where they're going with it. I want to see a different villain in season 3 besides Tobias, because I know people like Tobias as a villain. I don't. I think he's kind of boring as far as a villain. There's no real layers to him. He's just like, I'm bad and I want to be rich and blah. I'm like, dude, that's horrible, okay? In a day where we have villains like Magneto and Loki and Lex Luthor, that's horrible, okay? Give me a better villain is what I'm saying. So hopefully we can get that in season 3. And of course, if you've seen the final scene in season 2, you know that the war is coming with metahumans and Markovia, which is interesting, of course, because Markovia is kind of the centerpiece of Young Justice Outsiders right now. So it's interesting they're featuring that, which, of course, Outsiders also features Black Lightning. But in any event, guys, it's okay. You know, I think there's promise there. It's like most CW shows where it goes on for too many episodes, and it's no fault of the story. It's just the way TV is. I mean, if you cut it down to 13 episodes or 10 episodes instead of, you know, 22, which this one wasn't. This was only 16, but we're becoming spoiled with cable television and getting, you know, 13 to 10 episodes as opposed to the normal, you know, 21, 22 episodes that just have these filler episodes every season that just are boring. You know, they need to tighten it up a little bit. I think if you know, have 13 episodes, you could have more shows on and they would last longer, in my opinion. But that's just my idea on what to do with television, and I'm sure I'm wrong. But in any event, guys, you can check out Black Lightning on Netflix and let me know what you think about the season 2 finale. Okay, and lastly, I ran out of time, but just a few minutes before I started the show, a new trailer for Godzilla King of Monsters dropped. Allegedly the final trailer. The film comes out May 31st. And this film looks like it's going to be the exact opposite of what the other film was, which was lots and lots of monster action, guys. It's got a great cast, of course, inside of it. You got actors like Vera Farmiga, is that her name? I think it's it. Millie Bobby Brown, Bradley Whitford, Kyle Chandler, O'Shea Jackson Jr., Tom Middleditch. It's, you know, got a good cast to it, but it's got a lot of monsters as well. And from this trailer, we get that there's kind of a hive mind with the monsters, and Godzilla must take over the hive mind, become king of the monsters to stop them all, which, if it sounds familiar, guess what? That's How to Train Your Dragon. So, How to Train Your Monsters, I guess, would be a better title for this film, but it's action-packed. It's full of, you know, CGI monsters, kind of what we want in a summer movie. I wasn't overly impressed with the first Godzilla film, mainly because they showed so little of Godzilla. And then, of course, the other film they're hoping to tie in is Kong Skull Island. I never saw that one either. And this is all leading to Godzilla versus King Kong, which I think comes out maybe next year or the year after. Not that interesting, guys. I mean, I think this film will be better than the last one, but so far, the previous 2 films in this cinematic universe have yet to impress me. I'm hoping maybe this one changes my mind. It looks like a great popcorn film, but so far I'm unimpressed. In any event, though, the final trailer's online, guys. Go check it out, judge it for yourself, and of course, let me know what you think about Godzilla, King of the Monsters. And that's going to be it for me, guys. I will be back on Thursday, hopefully with some more news. I'm going to be jacked up because Thursday, of course, is when I'm seeing Avengers Endgame. It's almost here, guys. It's almost here. Oh, I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to talk about it. I can't wait to hear your feelings about it. It's coming. So, of course, fire back on social media groups, Facebook group, and Twitter, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Let me know, did you go to Star Wars Celebration? Did you enjoy it? Did you watch Black Lightning? What do you think about Khalil? I'm just going to leave it at that. You can find me personally, Slim Dayspring 12 on Instagram and Twitter. And that's it, guys. Enjoy your week. Go out, review some Marvel movies. And until next time, may the Force be with us all.